everybody. Welcome back to Same Spirit Gaming. My name's Matt.
And I'm Jordan.
And for some reason, When the Past Was Around seems to be making me redo a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
And honestly, I think right now I'm going back even further than I might have had to had I just hit continue. But like I hit continue and it made me backtrack, and I thought I could try and get around that, and clearly I could not.
But that's okay. It's the journey, not the destination. So he plays music. She was cold. He gives her the scarf. I remember this.
Yeah, so this is pretty much when they first met.
Yeah. It's a huge scarf. And I think I said that last time.
Probably. See, I would think each one of those little leaf things should be a checkpoint.
Yeah.
Or feathers. I guess they're feathers.
It really seems like where we stopped should have been a checkpoint. It's very weird. Because the whole setting changed.
Yeah, one of the chapter markers even looks like
yeah,
that sort of scene, but oh well.
She's not wearing the scarf. Why?
Maybe she doesn't need to in this room. Okay, I think that's all I need to do here. Because I'm going to use that on the... yeah. So, apologies for redoing a bunch of this. It just, like... it kind of came up like this. Alright.
Yeah.
This is where, when I hit continue, it tried to resume things from.
Yeah.
Which, I guess, is at least sort of like the same day, technically, in the story that we were in.
Okay. Oh, I remember this part, yeah.
It's just now I gotta do the stuff with making their breakfast, and...
oh, and then you go to the beach. Wow, yeah, there is a lot to catch up on.
So what was the one thing? It's like that and that. Nope. Maybe it was that and that. No?
I don't remember. If someone's watching this, like, right after the last one, they're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You should remember this. But it's been a week for us, so...
Okay, well, the one drink is definitely that for Mr. Owl here. How do I give this to you?
Take it.
Oh, there we go. That's what happens when you try to rush things.
It's okay.
Okay, so... is it all three of those? Nope. I thought it was just those. Oh, that's right. I need to get her the different cup. That's what it is. Which is that thing right there. So I use a match on the candle, it burns the wax, and then we take the cup and bring it over here, and you would think it should have been washed out first, but
Yeah.
oh well. Right, gotta Do that. There we go. They've got their drinks.
Nice. And then we go to the beach. Oh, wait, you gotta do that.
Yeah. So, I don't know, Jordan, do we feel like giving away roughly when we're recording this?
This is one day before Valentine's Day.
More specifically, I was thinking it's also the week after the Super Bowl, and I wanted to see if there were any thoughts on that.
I called the Seahawks winning from the beginning of the game. And the only reason I was rooting for them was because I'm from Seattle. I'm more familiar with it than Patriots.
I just didn't want the Patriots to win. They're already tied for the most Super Bowl wins as a franchise.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. I just, I have good memories of, being in Seattle, and everyone is so excited about the Seahawks game, and, there's just, this, I don't know, feeling of excitement. You can just feel it in the city. Everyone loves the Seahawks, except when they throw away the Super Bowl win. Then everyone's very upset. Because that did happen.
Yeah.
But besides that, it was, fun to see everyone just be very happy about it. Yeah, I mean, there's the obvious halftime show thing. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I don't have a ton to say. Everyone seems to have an opinion, but I didn't and I know there was an alternative one. I didn't watch either one because it was too late. We had to put the kids to bed. And so I actually only watched the first half of the game.
That's the thing. I guess, especially for the West Coast audience, I can kind of understand why they have the Super Bowl when they do, because West Coast, it's only, mid-afternoon for them.
Yeah. Right.
But for us on the East Coast, by the time the Super Bowl is done, it's kind of late.
Yeah. Yes.
Especially for those of us who, have work shifts starting at 5 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, so I didn't stay up. But yeah, there was I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. Do you have any thoughts on it?
I think some people tried to over-politicize it, as pretty much everything in this country is nowadays.
He's definitely not my pick for who I think should do the halftime show, but it has nothing to do with well, I shouldn't say nothing, but it's more for the reasons that I don't really like his music or him, and he just doesn't seem like a great person. But that's true for all musicians that would be hired for the halftime show. It's not unique to him. For example,
unless they did a halftime show that was a solid Christian artist, I think there's there's not going to be a lot of artists that I really enjoy. Speaking of which, I saw a video this week that was Skillet or at least John Cooper from Skillet and Jeremy Camp singing,
wow.
On stage at the same time. And of course, some of the comments were like, "This should have been the halftime show."
That would have been great. I do wish that. Okay, so I'll just address the controversy. There was a point in the halftime show where he said "God bless America" and then, listed a bunch of other countries, and I think that, like, for one thing, he didn't list the United States in that list.
I think he did, though.
Did he? I saw the flag, and then maybe I just.
It was just.
Like I said,
it was just kind of stuck there, closer to the end of the list, I think. And he said it so quick that.
Okay. I think he should have focused more on patriotism. And this is not like a right-wing thing. It's just like, he is an American. He's from Puerto Rico. That's part of the United States.
And that was part of his point, though, is that there's, first off, 2 big points. One, there's more to America than just the United States of America. There's also Central and South America. That's still called America.
Yeah, but that's like semantics. I mean, like, this is an NFL Super Bowl, so it's like for people. I don't know what you want to call it besides American. It's for people in the United States of America. And, like, we're at a time when we should be uniting. So I think what he should have said is, like, I'm from Puerto Rico. I love this country because it's so diverse, and I want to show my culture. So I'm going to do the halftime show half in Spanish, half in English, because I just want to show, like, how cool it is that I'm a part of this, amazing country where I have access to freedom. I can say what I want to say. I can, but at the, doing this balancing act of, I love the country, but also it's so diverse, and I'm proud to be part of a Spanish speaking area of the country, and, like, you can do both. And I feel like he just leaned into, like, listing all these other countries and doing it all in Spanish, which, like, puts people off. And it would be like, imagine going to Brazil or, like, Mexico and doing a show in the middle of one of their soccer games or football games, all in English, talking about, a bunch of countries besides Mexico. It's like, it just feels weird. Like, you should, you're in this country, you should be more sensitive to how, like, and I know, like, he's trying to make a point, but I think that's my problem with it, is, like, the halftime show is for entertainment. And I think if you focus on the entertainment, that is what unites people. You don't have to have a point. And that was also my problem with the other halftime show, is they were trying to make a point. Both halftime shows, it's just like people trying to make points. I don't want a halftime show where people are trying to, like, educate me or make a point to me. I just want a halftime show that's entertaining. Which is why I also, like, originally I said I don't have a ton of thoughts, because, to be fair, his halftime show was entertaining. It's just that also there was a big focus on the point that he was trying to make. All right, I said I didn't have a lot of thoughts. I guess I had more thoughts than I realized. Overall, with everything considered, it was fine. Nothing to get...
I guess with the whole fact that he was trying to make a point, I mean, if you don't really like that so much, then yeah, that it's automatically just gonna rub you the wrong way.
Yeah, that's just my personal thing. And by the way, I have to travel to Mexico for work, which we've brought up on the show before. And a lot of people, like, I will say, we try not to talk about politics at all. And someone, not me, someone will say, like, oh, Americans do this and this and this. And then immediately, like, every time someone's like, well, Mexico's part of America. Well, this is part of America. And it's like, I get it, and I'm never going to call someone out on it, but I understand that all of these are the Americas. But, you know, what do you call someone from the United States of America besides American? I don't know, because, you know, Mexico is Mexican.
Yeah.
If you're from Brazil, Brazilian. If you're from...
What's funny is that other countries are better at having a term for that than we are.
Yeah, like, what... Okay, you know, you're American if you live in these countries, but what do you call someone from the United States of America? There's no other term. I don't know. I think people would be open to ideas. I just, you know, it's like I don't need a correction on that every time. I get it, but that's just semantics.
Like, it's kind of funny though, because like literally in Spanish, at least, probably also Portuguese, but I know in Spanish they have the term estadounidense, which is essentially United Statesian.
So in Portuguese, in Brazil, they just say Americano, American. But I didn't know that. I didn't know they had a term like that. It's interesting.
So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I kind of appreciate that the message of the Super Bowl halftime show was trying to be more so about, like, you know, unity and, you know, how there's a broad collection of different types of people, although really, if you were trying to go more broadly for that, there probably should have been also more references to the other influences involved, like the various European or Asian or
that's true
influences like that. But yeah, meanwhile, I still think that was better than the alternative halftime show, which seemed very much focused on, like, hey, let's just be all about us. Let's be specifically about us and nobody else. Everything else that's going on and everybody who's against us are trying to just divide us and make things worse. And, you know, we need to just stick up for ourselves and try to, you know, defend ourselves and our own rights. And it very much seemed to imply throughout it that us is white Americans.
And that's the problem. Like, I don't have with everything you said, I actually don't have a problem with it. It's that last part I do. So like, this is like I said, football is an American sport, so it should, in my opinion, it should be a celebration of us and the US and Americans. Sorry if you don't like that term, but that includes, there's a huge Hispanic population in California, in Florida, in Texas, and there's a huge, like you said, Asian influence, there's Indian influence, there's, you know, so there should be a celebration of us and, like, patriotism, but that includes everybody. So yeah, that it's just that last part that I kind of have a problem with. If they're really saying that it's only white Americans, like, yeah, of course I disagree with that. That's and it's more than even just like saying it outright. If there's an implication there, then yeah, that's not good. I didn't watch it, so I don't know for sure, but like, yeah, like I said, I almost think like a mix of the two would be the best. Like, if you have a Puerto Rican talking about how amazing the country is and like how amazing it is that all of us can come together and create what is, in my opinion, right now, currently the best country in the world, and we're all a part of it. And yeah, I don't know. There's almost no other countries in the world where you can say what people say to Trump and about Trump. There's not really any other country where you can say those things about your country's leader. And I'm not saying it's not justified. I'm just saying, like, or that it is justified. I'm just saying we have the freedom to say that kind of stuff about our government and our leader, where if you look at any other country, maybe Canada is an exception, maybe the UK, but even in Europe, you have countries that wouldn't put up with it, especially if you say it online. So that's part of what makes our country so amazing, is that right's protected hard.
I think I need to open that lock to get the pin that I need for the pinwheel to finish what's going on in the day in the game. But I still got a little figuring out to do with that. Meanwhile,
so this might be a good excuse me, good time for the passage of the day. We've been hitting heavy topics, and it is not going to stop with the Bible passage. So let me bring up. I wanted to do something different, a different kind of thing than we usually talk about. So this is from 2 Samuel 6. Oh my gosh, my throat. And this is, let's see, this is all about the Ark of the Covenant. And God has stated, and some notes up or something, but now they're gone. I'll wing it. God had prescribed a way to carry the ark, and a way to treat the ark, and okay, this is gonna be. I'm gonna just read 2 Samuel chapter 6, 1 through 8, 1 through 7. Maybe we have talked about this before. Anyway, David again brought together all the able young men of Israel, 30,000. He and all his men went to Baalah in Judah to bring up from there the Ark of God, which is called by the name of the Lord Almighty, who is enthroned between the cherubim on the ark. They set the Ark of God on a new cart and brought it from the house of Abinadab, which was on the hill. Uzzah and Ahio, sons of Abinadab, were guiding the new cart with the Ark of God on it, and Ahio was walking in front of it. David and all Israel were celebrating with all their might before the Lord with castanets, harps, lyres, timbrels, sistrums, and cymbals. When they came to the threshing floor of Nakon, Uzzah reached out and took hold of the Ark of God because the oxen stumbled. The Lord's anger burned against Uzzah because of his irreverent act. Therefore God struck him down, and he died there beside the Ark of God. I'm just reading ahead to see if there's any other part. So yeah, basically part of the way they were supposed to carry the ark was that Levites were the only ones who were allowed to carry it. And they weren't even supposed to put it on a cart to begin with. They were supposed to carry it. So that was strike one.
Yeah, they were supposed to put poles through some stuff in the sides and lift it up onto their shoulders.
Exactly. So they were already on thin ice, basically. The ox fell, and Uzzah was like, okay, I'll just grab it. And, I guess God at that point was just like, all right, enough.
Well, he was probably, the way, if I understand right, so it was kind of on a cart as they were moving it along, and it kind of became unsteady, and this guy Uzzah saw that it was maybe about to like fall off or tip over or something, and he reached out to kind of do the whole like whoa, to put it back up. You know how you do when something's about to fall off a cart.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I think he touched it when he wasn't supposed to, and anyway, then God struck him dead.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't think he's the only case of people dying when they touch the ark. If I don't know the exact situation, but that something like that has happened before. But basically, like, it seems like, wow, that's really harsh. Like, all he did was touch it, does he really need to die over that? But I think it's making a really strong point that they were saying, like, oh, it's too hard to carry it, and, it's just easier to do this, and, is it really bad if I touch it, even though I'm not a Levite, because I'm trying to catch it, and it's like all of this stuff is kind of good enough. Like, God has given them all these things that they're supposed to do, and they're like, well, it's good enough if we do this. Well, it's good enough if we do. It's easier if we do this. They're cutting corners and like kind of justifying breaking the rules. And at a certain point, God is like, no, okay, enough. Like, this is not. You can't just say it's good enough, for the ark, for me, and just live like that forever. And so I think it's an important reflection on us that we shouldn't be kind of cutting corners like that when it comes to our faith life and just saying, well, it's good enough. Well, this is good enough. I know I'm supposed to do this, but it's more efficient or it's easier if I do this. It's like, no, if you know something's the right thing to do and you should be doing something a certain way, just do it. Do it the right way and do it God's way, and rely on the way God has like set things for you. Don't cut corners. I don't think God's going to strike you down, but it's just I think this was just like making a really strong point. And I also think it worked because after this, they like carried the ark the right way, and they're like, okay, wow, we really need to be serious about this. Well, one interesting thing is I do notice that verse 8 says, then David was angry because the Lord's wrath had broken out against Uzzah, and to this day that place is called Perez Uzzah. And it's like, it almost sounds like David's angry at God. But maybe he was angry at Uzzah? I don't know.
Or I think he was, more than anything else, just upset that it happened, because he was like, I'm trying to get the Ark of the Covenant to this temple that I've made that God said is, a good thing, and like,
yeah, okay. So he's just like,
what's going on here, God? Why are things, going wrong? How is this not to your liking?
Yeah, I see. Just angry in general, kind of. But yeah, I've even heard that verse, like from like way back when I was in high school. One of my atheist friends was like, "Look at this. How could I worship a God who does this? Like, all he did was touch it. This is ridiculous." And it was like one of his big points. To be honest, at the time, I didn't really know how to respond, because I was like, yeah, that does seem really extreme. But I'm coming to terms with it and coming to understand like why it was so important to teach everybody, these are the rules you have to follow. Just do it. And a lot of those other rules that God set out for the people of Israel were important for keeping the society functioning and functioning, to his will, and it kept them together and strong. And you have all these barbaric countries around Israel, and they're at least when they're following God's commands, they flourish. So yeah, it sets a precedent for everything, not just the Ark of the Covenant. He needs his scarf and medicine?
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm missing in the combination here to the safe that I think would have the medicine. So, I'm pretty sure the order is supposed to go based on, these symbols here.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought meant it should be 1825. Because I don't see any other owls besides, our friend here. The butterflies, I thought I counted them right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 9. Maybe that's what's wrong.
Okay.
9.
925. Nope.
Or do I have the number of birds wrong as well? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that looks like 5 to me.
Oh, there's 3 brooms.
Oh, where's the third one? So I see that
There's
one.
one there, and then go to the left.
Oh, that one. Yep,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yay!
Also, apparently, the spot that we ended at last time was literally right at the end of that chapter.
Dang.
It was like the last scene within chapter 2.
When we have a chance, this would be a good stopping point.
Yeah, I figure I'll let it take us to the next little scene and then...
Okay. She can fly!
I figure that it's supposed to be symbolic of the music lifting her spirits or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Okay. It would seem our fine feathered friend has gone out the gate. But
She's like, what? Where did he go?
We'll check on him next time, I guess.
All right.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah. That was intense discussions.
Yeah. Might have kind of overshadowed what was going on in the game, but that was mostly repeated stuff anyway, so maybe next time we'll focus a little more on the game.
Yes, that's fine, yeah.
So,
anyways, we hope you enjoyed it anyway. Sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah. Hey, people might watch for different reasons, and one of those reasons might be the discussion more so than the games sometimes.
Yeah.
Let us know what you enjoy about our videos down in the comment section.
Yeah. Let us know.
Anyway, hopefully we'll see you next time. Subscribe so you don't miss it. But for now, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.